Not many wins, honestly. There's really not to kind of drag them down, but they have not been having the best time in the world. But it looks like we're actually ready to get started. So again, welcome back everybody. My name is Ito, and this is going to be for Mountain Dew League Season 13. My name is Ito, and I'm really happy to bring you another game. I just kind of got up from taking a nap, so I'm a little bit out of it. But hey, we're going to go ahead and get through this together. I have my boy Flippy by my side. You know, I think he's going to be a little bit busy with doing whatever he is in the background. He'll keep this chat sane, right? Interesting roster for Incognito as well. Mello is asking, where's Sterling? I'm not sure if he's been formally dropped from the roster, but there have been some changes on Incognito as of late, such as JoJo kind of being removed from it. So, you know, just assume that Incognito's lineup changes like the wind. Not a fan of doing Vertigo, to be completely honest here, but I'm hoping that maybe there can be a little bit of fun found and squeezed out of this one here. That being said, Mata is going to try to deny as much fun as they possibly can. Clean little shot over towards Alley before they back up. And look at this. The CTs have already completely rotated. There's not really all too much that they can do at the moment other than just give up and play retake. Axe, while he does get the bomb down, takes some pretty considerable damage while backing up. There's one flash remaining in Frost AK's hand, and the bomb defuse has already begun. Axe, he's forced to make contact here, swinging out wide, somehow doesn't die in his first attempt through, but the CTs are obliterating his comrades and will eventually get over to him. The bomb, as you might imagine, does actually get defused, and despite Rugratz not really investing any money into defuse kits whatsoever, they will go ahead and retake quickly and take that first round. This is best of one. Yes, Sevs. We're only going to be seeing Vertigo between these two teams. So, potentially a little bit interesting. Anyway, as we head into the second. Right now, I'm just kind of trying to keep a little bit of an eye on if Incognito still want to go ahead and try prodding a ramp here. The most popular destination when you're on the T side. Although that nade will be not exactly useful. It was pretty close to actually hitting and ricocheting right into Feng's little body. Not really many options that you can go ahead and actually take Incognito. We'll just look to try to grind their way up. But thing is, they've already been spotted. And HE, again, not doing any damage. You haven't been exactly the most successful HE grenades so far, but that's okay. Because they should be able to clean up with these MP9s here. It's pretty critical that RZU is able to at least do some damage. We can go ahead and just get a little bit of extra money here, but his teammates will go ahead and clean it up, no problem. Not the most exciting. That's just kind of how eco rounds work out, but at least you can go ahead and get a couple of P250s for the trouble. Rugratz. This is where actually things get a bit more interesting in Incognito. Now with rifles on their backs, we'll try to surprise a little bit more here. Rugratz, usually this is a kind of scenario where you would see a lot of teams kind of take it as a bonus. I'm surprised. They're actually completely, fully invested. RZU, he has a FAMAS, but he's the only one who's even slightly bogged down when it comes to artillery. Lots of emphasis again over towards a ramp. And Incognito, although they showed some really early presence, they held onto their utility. And they can go ahead and easily back out. I mean, this is just really the initial utility set and spam being brought out from Rugratz. Nothing exactly incredible so far. Infinite, as he was doing a bit of a jiggle peek, spotted one player, and I'm curious if he actually chooses to back off, completely ignore Feng, and let him go ahead and have his moment in the limelight. The Molotov is out. Infinite probably is going to need to help out that boy Feng, because the T's have already now wiggled their way up over towards the ramp, and although there is a player trying to lurk through, that's, I believe, Axed. Not really going to be able to do much in this position. It's not exactly a power position. Feng is eventually snuffed out. Again, he was in an impossible scenario. But when will this execute actually begin? Incognito, they're allowing for a lot of rotates to come through. And the thing is, Mata is going to capitalize upon that opportunity. However, the shot is not there. Viz is incredibly keen on the angle. This is where an Infinite will come online, however, and pick up 2 kills over towards the alley. Unfortunately, the third will be impossible, but he has done his part. He has done his job, and now he needs to maybe hope that RSU can pull off something more massive, but it's not going to happen. Viz, it looks like he was actually the hero of the round, but it felt like Infinite could have easily swapped places when it comes to the heroics. Unfortunate that he eventually was put out of commission, but well played by Viz. I felt like he was always constantly on the front lines of that scene. He picks up a triple. Incognito will be awarded for their first rifle round, and eventually, or will immediately, excuse me, break the eco of the CT side. While there is still a bit more of an emphasis over towards the A side of things, you notice that actually the standard setup from Rugratz right off the bat is going to be kind of focused on mid. A Molotov out towards sandbags is really nice though. But they'll continue to hold. Incognito, they realize that they're going to be up against probably a stack at this point. It's actually a little bit strange that Rugratz have decided not to stack entirely, considering how favorable it could be when you're on pistols. Especially on the A-bomb site, where I don't think anybody wants to even bother with a B-bomb site a lot of the time. And thing is, Incognito, they don't want to try to mess with it either. He'll make first contact with one over towards alley, but trade it out quickly. There's a flank already taken out too. Rugratz should probably be taken out. I don't think he's making a pretty notable attempt to try to stop that bomb planter. Takes a couple of shots. If you can get one more kill here, it won't be the worst eco in the world. Obviously, on paper, it feels like the best possible opportunity that they had to win it would be stacking A. But again, hindsight is 20/20. Plus, there's a reason I'm not playing an MDL. I'm not nearly as crazy as any of these players. And for some reason, the money still really sucks from Rugratz. They're going to have to be stuck on a double save, and this is round 2 of it. Infinite will just try to flash his teammates in and they look for a bit more aggression. And Mata probably going to be trying to sneak close left here. Or close right. One of the two. There's so many options, right? Crossfire up over towards A main. I would imagine Infinite. He's going to be try to be present for it as well. There's a flash in. Taking over the A ramp. Both of his teammates are killed. Welp. That sucks. There's an attempt. Rugratz, I appreciate the little play that they're trying to make, and I felt like, honestly, Incognito weren't quite ready for it. They just managed to deal with it really well. Infinite, the new player for Incognito, now try to pull off a 1v5. And look, there's many unlikely things that can happen, but in an MDL game, expecting a 1v5 to happen, I think you should never hedge your bets on. And yeah, what's up, Colin? How you doing? And yeah, Infinite, he is brand new to this roster. This is his second game, I believe. Well, second MDL game. This is his 4th overall map with them. They've been playing a lot of CS recently, Rugratz. Not too much on Vertigo, and again, that's what I always want to try to bring it back to, is that this is incredibly surprising to me that they chose Vertigo. Or it was banned down to Vertigo, you know? Infinite can't even get away with saving that AK or that M4, which is really going to suck, considering now that his team can buy, he's going to be stuck on MP9 duty. Judging by how he's been playing as well, I'm wondering if we see him get flashed through by either Mata or Fang. Just try to search for a kill. He's just kind of in a crafty spot at the moment. I think he accidentally bought up. I don't think it was much of a hero M4 decision that he was making. There it is. He is indeed trying to get close. Is there any flash in? No. Oh, he's just going to play close instead. And thing is, that's going to become a lot more palatable, a lot more easy, especially based off the fact that Incognito, they've eaten a bunch of spam damage for free here. There's shrapnel intake is extremely high at the moment. Actually, I think a little bit worrying. So go ahead and contact your doctor if you're eating that much shrapnel, because you might add a little bit of lead to it. Despite a bullet going into Bronze Dome, he is still not taken out. And Incognito, they'll actually pick out another frag all the way across the map. Axe will find that one. And a round that could have easily gone the way of Rugratz is already looking incredibly perfect for Incognito to take a pretty convincing start and maybe break the eco again of Rugratz. Full loss bonus will be in effect if the Rugratz do lose this one out. For the first time this map, we'll actually see Incognito decide to go ahead and finish things up over towards B-bomb site. Micro takes some heavy damage trying to cross in, but that's okay. He was the healthiest starting things out here. Braun wasn't doing much too good for Ware, however, and he will indeed be taken out of commission. The retake will begin, but thing is, Rugratz, they have so little time. I don't even think they should bother going for this. No kits in play. It's a 3v4. The B-bomb site isn't exactly friendly to retakers. Tons of different spots you can anchor down. Okay, can we actually... I know Feng and Mod are on the same team here, but can you actually spam through like this wall right here? I'm wondering if you can. I haven't seen it before, but I would imagine. I'll be Incognito now taking a 4th round, and this is... Look, I know it's early days, but this is actually kind of concerning. Just in the fact that the way that Incognito are winning these rounds, they're looking really, really comfortable. Incognito, I think, you know, they're just going to go ahead and keep up the ante. They don't have to switch anything all too different. They realize that they're going to be up against Force by best possible case scenario for Rugratz. While I am a little bit concerned about their idea to go for this, Fang could have easily dropped like a gun for Infinite if he wanted. So I have some questions right off the bat, but regardless, Incognito, this time they're going to switch up their approach here. More emphasis on mid. Although they don't have an immediate player watching, Fang will be kind of the quickest rotate over, with Infinite not far behind. The pistols peeking out, the CTs of Rugratz will now look to actually go ahead and crunch their way on in. They'll have their front man Cobra spotting. And no damage taken. Incognito, where do they pivot to now? Thing is, there's still so much map control that Rugratz can't exactly fight for at the moment here. They have diverted their resources mainly over towards mid at the moment here. Eventually they will back. And Incognito haven't exactly done too much. Oh, and especially over towards A. Frost AK, he'll get the first kill. That was onto an unarmored Infinite. Good kill, by the way, by Mada, I want to say. He dodged that flash really, really well. Actually looking a little bit scary for Incognito now. Luckily, we're dragged back into a bit more of a sane reality as Viz is able to eventually trade us out. I'm not exactly sold yet. Incognito, they could easily go ahead and give this one up here if Rugratz aren't perfectly keen on this retake here. RZU, I don't think he has realized that Micro might have exactly spotted his head. Now, we search for the first kill here. Not finding that, the round is over. You can't do anything. Incognito, I mean, just kind of the nature of how retakes happen. They were just basically all peeking any possible angle that Rugratz could have actually come from. And if none of them are occupied, good luck. I mean, you can't really go ahead and try to make that one all too convincing. Incognito are just looking prime at the moment. And Rugratz, they realize that this is getting a little bit more scary. The double AWP will be brought out, and, well, quite honestly, I'm not sure if this is going to favor Rugratz all too much. I'm not exactly fond of their setup. Fang is aggro mid. Cobra with a sneaky angle. I want to keep an eye on these, however. Right now, there's expectedly watching for any pushes, and Cobra has a really smart angle to perhaps find one. He needs to be, I believe, a bit pushed up to actually spot Braun on the cross, but still, he has the right idea on where at least one of these players could be located. Oh my goodness. If all he knew. Oh, he spots a gun barrel. He knows. He is aware of the critical information, and there we have it. Clean shot in on the first. Now, Braun has given away his position because of the shots fired off. Rugratz can begin to rotate over because now the B execute has begun, and it might end right then and there because the thing is, Rugratz, they're already bunkered down onto the site. Axe is going to have to go massive, but he has to have his head on a swivel because there's players coming from seemingly everywhere. He gets the kill onto the first. RZU still lurks inside the smoke, inside the site, and as the smoke fades, so will the life of Axe here. Trades out on the site, left, right, and center. It feels like an Incognito. Somehow they're making this one work out. And oh my god, they actually are. They pull it out with a lead. It's a 1v2 for Cobra to try to overcome. This first one should be a guarantee, but the second one, he has absolutely no clue on where Micro could possibly be located. The smokes will fade. Cobra with so many questions. Incognito have done amazing to storm over the site. It was an immediate response as soon as they dropped that player over towards A ramp. Micro. Now as that second smoke has gone through, he's going to try to push a bomb, and yeah, Micro. As soon as he actually got a little bit more curious, that was basically his round. Cobra would have had to hit the most insane shot in the world. But you can't ever, ever bank on something like that happening. That'll be 6 rounds now for the Incognito side. And most likely number 7. Take a gander at the buy on the Rugratz forces. Lots of pistols and not much more. That was just a really wonderful setup by Incognito though. That's something that I want to see Nart try to analyze at some point because that was an immediate kind of call and response. Incognito, because of the way they're playing their default, they were already pushed up to a pretty aggressive degree. They had 2 players over towards A, but the remaining majority of players were over towards B, and as soon as they lost one of their players, they just began the execute over towards B. Worked out perfectly. Incognito are looking pretty wonderful at the moment, and this pistol doesn't seem to be convincing me otherwise. They are dealing with it almost perfectly. There is a single kill that will go their way onto a Frost AK, but a 1-for-1 trade and an AK give it up. That's okay. This is still probably one of those impossible rounds for Incognito to lose. Oh, don't fall off the map now. Fizz, you have me anxious. Good spam onto Mata, however. Mata. And eventually Cobra is just going to go ahead and hold on to that AK that he picked up. And that's it. Wrap the round up with a neat little bow because that's another one that Rugratz are going to be dropping. Full loss bonus, so it won't have to be a double save or anything like that. And I'm actually wondering if Cobra drops over this AK-47 to, I don't know, Infinite or something like that and picks up an AWP. I haven't been sold on the snipers yet. But, I mean, considering how Cobra was playing with it last time over towards A ramp, he seems pretty keen on when Incognito actually want to push. Indeed, that will be the case. He drops it over to Infinite. I feel like a genius now for expecting that, right? But I want to keep an eye on Cobra. Ops have been completely ditched by the Incognito side. Never mind, we'll get to that later. Already the push has begun in from Incognito. This is a bit more of what I was expecting out of a map like Vertigo. Incredibly aggressive, just pressing W into them. They've already taken what Rugratz have been able to call home in basically all previous rounds. The aggro A-hold is just disgustingly strong by Incognito at the moment. Thing is, they can just sit on it. They don't have to leave this. This is now going to be part of their map control. Rugratz are going to have to actively use parts of their utility just to fight back. And that, as you might imagine, will not be granted. A Molotov out onto Cobra to go ahead and force him out of position right into the spam of awaiting, I believe that is Braun. But there's still a long way to go. Cobra, he pushes to try to open things up here, but he doesn't have a shot in hell. Infinite is in a power-making position, however. But all he can really do, actually, is just hold on. And this is Vertigo at its most Vertigo. Players just sitting, waiting. You see the triple boost, the Furia boost coming out, and oh my god, it's actually successful. It catches out no one. Actually, they lose a player because of it. Abyss has spotted exactly where Infinite is located, but he still loses a fight! Oh, that is redonkulous. Oh boy. Okay, well, I guess it will be Rugratz actually probably squeaking this one out. Despite being aware of the locations of the waiting Incognito members. They seem to be definitely struggling a good amount. Bomb will not be plantable. No, what? Why? Why don't you peek that, RZU? No, that is... No! You... Oh my god, why'd you do that? That is the worst possible thing you could have done. Jesus Christ, why? Why'd you peek? There was half a second left. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, that is really bad. Well, RZU, he will snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And, okay. Incognito will win the round because Axe, he won't let any opportunity slip by. Wow, that is really bad. Okay, well, it happens. Let's go ahead and try to recollect ourselves because Rugratz, they've invested more money into it. Infinite picked up the AWP. He's angry. He wants a kill, and he is taking a very aggro stance to actually possibly take it. No! And there's team damage? Oh, Rugratz, you are really not on point at the moment. What the hell? Why do I always get the weird games, man? God damn it. Okay. That's a head scratcher. Well, the forced up AWP isn't quite panning out, perhaps. I feel like if Braun didn't get saved by the enemy player of Cobra, that could have gone a little bit better. Thanks. Map control will continue to try to be pushed for by Rugratz, and they've actually gotten a good amount of it for free. The execute begins, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, and Rugratz are going to be late to the party. Very late to the party. The fact, I mean, they arrive, and thing is, the beard's already gone. The party is already ended. The parents have returned back to the home, and Incognito, they've already cleaned up the mess because they just caused a gigantic mess on the B bomb site. Rugratz are so late to actually rotate over because they're working so hard for that map control over towards A. So, I mean, that was a round that they were basically going to lose anyway. Just because of the buy that they had and losing that first player. But just in the fashion that they're losing it, it's really rough. An AWP for Viz. He looks to catch out. Maybe RZU if he's lucky. Incognito, they're fighting a lot more for these pushes as of late, but they have to be incredibly scared. Because remember what happened last time Incognito gave up a round? They were fighting so hard for ramp control. Doesn't seem to be something they want to try to recreate, do once more, but I mean, if that setup was adopted by Incognito, that could have easily been 2 players down. It's been a really rough half for Rugratz so far. I think saying otherwise would be just straight up incorrect. But there's a couple of times where they at least have the right idea to how to play against Incognito. They give up a bit more A-ramp presence and will choose just to play on the site itself. Good flash in. Will allow his teammates to actually push into the site itself, and they just decide to wide peek into 4 players who are coming up alley. Fights continuing to be taken, and eventually one of them will go their way. Frost AK going to be the victim for this one, and RZU, now he's going to be peeking in. Last time you were here, RZU, it didn't pan out well, and this won't be any different. Incognito on the fast track to getting 10 rounds. This retake, it shouldn't be happening. The money isn't looking fantastic, even if you count for that full loss bonus that is available. Rugratz do not seem like a very well-trained team on Vertigo at the moment. Don't get me wrong, they most definitely... I can't take this seriously, man. Oh, no. I don't know, man. What the hell is happening? Yikes. Okay, well, that happens. Pistols for Rugratz. Alright, a bit of half-buy, I think is the more proper terminology of it. Gonna be seeing a bit more aggro A presence, as you might imagine. Incognito, I mean, they are just rolling on all cylinders. They don't have to do anything too crazy. Just playing incredibly passive, and a lot of the time, it's not that Rugratz get like hasty and push into them. A lot of the time, it's just that they're able to work picks incredibly well when they actually do begin on their execute. This default is just really kind of oppressive. Fizz is peeking, waiting for maybe RZU to walk into his crosshairs, but the fight that I'm more interested in is over towards A. Really great shots onto Cobra. Micro didn't quite finish off that now incredibly weakened player, but he'll have a second shot at it. There we have it. And Incognito, this is what I'm talking about. Again, they can just play so slow, and they are getting rewarded time after time because of it. Just a really strong kind of a grasp on their fundamentals. Against Deagles, I suppose that isn't the most impressive thing in the world, but hey. Incognito, they're looking really great at the moment, and they're going to be awarded with 11 rounds on the T side. Now, don't get it twisted. This map is really good if you're on the T side, just because of really how strong A ramp is, but Incognito, they haven't even had to particularly exploit it to have a lot of good times. Rugratz now, the best that they can hope for is 11-4, which, you know, it's not terrible. 11-4, honestly, now that I think about it, it's not going to be awful. Like, I'm thinking that, RZU, no, you don't have time, man. No, you're going to die. Oh, wait, never mind, the bomb doesn't do nearly as much damage as I thought. We're good. Yo, MYK, that shit doesn't fly here. Don't you dare say shit like that, man. Don't ever fucking threaten players. That should be incredibly obvious, but don't ever say things like that. That is disgusting. Anyway, back into the game. Sorry, you guys had to read that one. Rugratz, now they're getting antsy. They're actually going for a push. And over towards mid, I'm not sure if that's exactly the lifeline that they needed. Even if they did win that frag, that was just incredibly easy for them to retake. Or trade out, excuse me. I appreciate the effort, however. It was just a dry peek in from Fang, so you just can't expect it to pan out in the long term unless he has hits all of those shots. Once again, A ramp. It doesn't even have to be necessarily fought for. This is kind of how Vertigo works on the T side. Just sometimes teams give it up. Rugratz, they've usually been playing more aggressive too. This feels like just such a complete tonal shift in how Rugratz want to actually go ahead and approach this map. And maybe this is exactly the approach that they needed. Cobra gets 2 banger shots right there to go ahead and put us into a more favorable situation for the Rugratz. The rotate from RZU is already there. And although Incognito have kept this even, this is far, far from a done deal for either team, really. Cobra shifting quickly over towards B. We'll expect the push to happen there. And the thing is, he might get rewarded with a kill. Shot out a little bit early. Axed might cross. Well, indeed they do cross, but not into his crosshairs. Now down to a 1v1. RZU, he won't choke it out. What happened between him and Axe was, you know, just a hiccup. Just a blip on the radar. But we're going to be smooth sailing from here on out. 3-11. Rugratz will obviously not punish the eco of Incognito. will we be able to piece together an okay buy? 4-11, it wouldn't be too bad if you pan out, look at the big picture here. Healthy grenade in. There's that aggro approach from Incognito I was expecting. They're fighting a lot more for it, and they look really good for wear. Look at this. Rugratz are incredibly scared of it. What I want to see them maybe try to do here, Incognito, although they don't have to, excuse me, is that they could completely rescind map control, maybe re-exec later if they wanted to, and probably be granted a lot of freebies. Cobra's holding alley extremely strong. Well, he will be forced to back up from the angle. That's okay. He's done his job. He's gotten an initial kill to start things off and nearly had that second one. Almost blew the shoes off of that Incognito player looking to push up. Cobra, perhaps the second one is going to be on the cards for you. No, he misses a shot. His teammate is unable to trade him out. And Incognito again. They're somehow making this round work out for them. Mata is bleeding internally, not exactly doing wonderful when it comes to the HP margin. But there is a chance. RZU is fighting back. He actually gets two. Infinite with a third. Now the retake is swift, it is powerful, and it is good enough from Rugratz to squeak out 4 rounds. There has been a lot of lowlights for Rugratz in this first half. It wasn't clean. I think saying otherwise again would be, it'd be straight up incorrect. But 4-11 isn't too bad when you go ahead and actually take at the, look at the big picture of this. This is easily workable. You get that pistol, you get a couple of the opening rounds, and, just maybe, you can go ahead and actually call this round, this game, a bit more winnable. This map does definitely favor the T's a little bit more. Just because of how powerful map control can be, even compared to other maps in the pool. Just really, I can't get over some of the sight lines that you're given, some of the essentials that you're given. It's scary to think about that Rugratz are at the moment kind of hurting to a team like Incognito, which a very new roster. Incognito, I mean, they have some wonderful players on their roster. Don't get me wrong. It's just, this is not a match that I was expecting to be this one-sided. I'm kind of a little bit baffled. If you can't tell that just by what you're hearing, I don't even know what would convince you. Incognito, they're surprising me, and I'm hoping they can keep it up here, but Rugratz aren't exactly the kind of team to let this one slip by for free. 3 over towards B to start things out. Rugratz, with a heavy emphasis over towards B, will send 2 players out over towards mid. Keep in mind, Infinite is towards mid as well. This is extremely risky to go for here. Wrapping your bomb all the way towards the back of the site, and that's immediately going to be the bomb spotted. And although Rugratz are winning their fights here, they have to be careful for the quick rotates that are already coming into effect. And that's exactly why 2 more players dropped. The bomb dropped as well. Micro, an incredibly winnable position that he's in, especially if he got that first kill. But no, he shouldn't be able to close this out. Surely not! Micro with 1 point of health? It just keeps happening. It just keeps happening, man. The thing is, Rugratz, that was a really risky strat, man. Threading the bomb through mid just felt incredibly scary. I understand why they're doing it, because getting bomb stuck on the stairs of B is rough. I don't think it's the most fun thing in the world. But 1 HP, just the sheer way that Micro won that is crazy. Rugratz, you would bet your house on them winning that round, especially after how good of a start it got off to. But hey, if you bet your house on it, and I hope you have a hotel reservation lined up, because right now, they are really surprising me. Incognito, they're looking solid again. They're hitting some crazy shots if Micro wasn't a good enough demonstration of that. While they haven't exactly forced a bomb down, Rugratz, they can fight for this. A 5v5 possibly that we're heading into on a post plan. extreme patience from Incognito. What in the world? Oh, RZU. You got me a little bit scared there. This is kind of a strong angle. I want to keep an eye on him. Although he has been hard cleared, the strength of that angle really lies in having other teammates by your back. They're a little bit late to actually join the party. Braun and Axe are able to spray down at a couple, and the bomb is basically all but defused. Unless Rugratz, like, what, he's going to spray? Yeah, there's no chance. Very strange rounds. But through it all, Incognito will remain dominant as ever. It'll be 13 rounds for the now CT side of Incognito. They are absolutely doing phenomenal work. Rugratz, that was a 4th set from them. They got the bomb down plus a good amount of players. I don't think that's too terrible. Calling that round bad from Rugratz would be blatantly false. They got basically everything that they could hope for out of it. A good amount of damage on a round that they almost had no business winning. And this time, things are already looking a little bit better. They've squeaked out that first kill. The man who clutched in round number 16 is no longer in commission. But early peaks still in from the Incognito side. We'll go ahead and prove to make things a bit more difficult. But it's a pivot. Rugratz, thing is, the way that they're playing positions here, they didn't exactly have to commit over towards the A-bomb site if they didn't want to. RZU, he's already been planting, planting a seed for victory. Over towards mid. He will find that first kill. Back off to help his teammate secure that plant and play it from there. Really weird off angle from RZU. I'm curious. Does he actually choose to stick with this? No, wow, that is the worst timing in the world, man. I feel you. Oh, there we are. He spots him on the second go. Strong util usage in a fight 1 makes it so it's going to be 5 rounds for Rugratz. Bit more confident. Not the cleanest, again, but it doesn't always have to be. Incognito were fighting pretty tough for that round. Pistols across the board. It should be number 6. I'm curious to see if Incognito try anything fancy on their setup. What does this grenade do? Does this just punish A aggression? I think so. I want to keep an eye on this. This could actually be a huge nade now that I'm looking at it. No, okay, he doesn't throw it. That's just my luck. He's gonna die. A swift demise. Good eco cleanup. Only dropping probably 2 guns. I don't see any more being lost. Make it good scenes for the Rugratz. Much better. Yo, what's up, Horek? How you doing? Nah, this is just an MDL match that I'm doing. I'm listed on HLTV, so I have no idea how many viewers I have at the moment, but this isn't normal. This isn't normal traffic, mind you. I would love this to be normal traffic, though. Can you imagine? A double save. Not all too surprising, considering what we have in store for us. There's a long, long road ahead for the Rugratz to be able to call this round, this game, theirs. A 5 stack of players over towards the A-bomb site. I'm curious if Cobra will actually go ahead and try to dictate the pace and bring his team over. No, they're still fighting over towards ramp, but they're exposed. These are extremely exposed positions. They're giving up 2 kills. Feng is now going to be fighting for his life, but this is a distance that can be easily closed. Feng, you got to get out, bro. You're going to oh God, no. He's about to be absolutely crushed. Or is he? No, they're scared of him. Okay, well, never mind. You're good, Feng. You are good. Elsewhere on the map, another man dies. The bomb is on B. It will get planted in a 4v2 with 3 AKs now in the hands of Incognito. This is a very strange game. I'll be honest. It's just, I'm not used to Vertigo, so I think that's the reason why I'm a little bit confused. But hey, it was a good pivot by Rugratz. They surely will be able to close this one out here, although it's a 2v4. Oh god, no. Never mind, these pistols are still proving to be pretty nasty. Now, Feng has a real challenge on his hands, and that's just a really strong trade from Micro. You can't do anything about that. Full Eco 1 by Incognito, get number 14 on the board. Now look, I know chat is going to go crazy about this one here, but thing is, Incognito played that really well. That's a lot of the times why I feel so strongly about actually stacking A ramp. Or stacking the A site in general, really. You can pincer down onto it really, really well. And Incognito, I mean, I can see maybe that working again if they're stuck onto another eco. This is going to have to be a long game. Incognito, assuming they give up a couple of more rounds, might have to go ahead and pull out that strat again. And can you imagine that be the way that they get number 15? This time A ramp is actually fought for and successfully won by the Rugratz. Spam through alleyway, not enough to convince anybody. A rotate is brought over from the opposite site. And Mata, that is a duel that could have nearly gone a nasty way. Pushes up. And Rugratz, they're respecting all of this space that Incognito are giving up. But think about how much utility that they're wasting. Incognito, now they can go ahead and start tossing out everything they got. A couple of dunk nades onto RZU is the least of their problems. One flashbang is what they're going to be banking their hopes on. This is going to have to be a nasty one. Cobra, it's good for a kill, but that is about it. We enter a 3v4, and Incognito have util for days. They can smoke out the bomb. They can molly the T-ramp. They can go ahead and have just the entire site for themselves if they so want. This retake is being fought tooth and nail, but eventually, throughout it all, Incognito, they will remain strong. They did wonderful. That, from the get-go, I could tell that this was going to be so bad for Rugratz. They had to use so much util just to actually push onto the site in general. And Incognito, they had a really strong grasp on how to actually, play the CT side. They completely just held back on all of their usage and just kind of let it happen. I'm really liking this from Incognito. Brand new team, and Rugratz on paper, while they would have won this one, maybe they just need a bit more practice on Vertigo or something. Definite hiccups to try to get over. Bit more emphasis on B, which I think is interesting. I didn't honestly think it'd get this far, considering the buy that we had in our hand, but well, let's go ahead and try to take this one a little bit more seriously, because now Braun, he's made this a bit more of a challenge for Incognito. Or for Rugratz, excuse me. 3v4. 2v3. Counting is really hard, man. Don't recommend doing counting live on broadcast. I'm not sure if Incognito actually go for this. Yeah, their money is kind of non-existent. Don't have nearly enough of an a buffer. Frost AK, I think he's probably the most pivotal person to keep a nice little look on. Make sure to save his butt if nobody else. That's a free M4 that can be dropped onto somebody. Braun, he could also, I guess, pick up like the Moss armor, but Axe and Micro, they're going to need some help economically. They're struggling. So it looks like that is a spammable angle. Huh. Neat. 15-7. Still a long, long way to go before I say that this is, believable of a comeback. But Incognito have shown me basically every single time that they can easily finish this at any time. Although Viz getting taken to just 21 points of health right off the bat is going to make things a bit more difficult. An emphasis over towards B. Braun has a strong angle to maybe pick off a couple of players. I think he even gets a chance. He doesn't even have to. Axe is able to find first kill. There's already a push in over towards mid to take out the other person anchoring on the site rather. Swift domination from Rugratz, so they're dealing with these ecos relatively well. Even removing Viz from the scene relatively early, too. Who I think was a real scariest person there. So Rugratz are having a little bit more success over towards the B-bomb site. At least in these early days. But again, you just have to remember that this could end at any time. Incognito are hairs away. I'm just saying, alright, we're done. We've gotten our practice on Vertigo. Nice kill. At least. Damage the economy a little bit more of Rugratz, as if they really need that, right? Frost AK will hold on to it. The rest of his team can probably buy, especially since he held onto that M4 twice in a row. That could be, you know, a gun drop for probably Viz. Oh, wow. They're half buying around this. Interesting. Incognito, they're playing it patient. I respect it. They're letting this one kind of slip by because they realize, you know, let's just go ahead and make sure we have the strongest buy possible. We're giving respect to Rugratz. They're not thinking that they can win it with an MP9 buy. So this should be now number 9 for Rugratz, all things considered. The fight isn't necessarily strong right now. You're not seeing much competition. So, sorry, much resistance, I should say, from Incognito, as Rugratz is kind of storm over the site. There is one player in Micro who's just kind of waiting for the right moment to strike, and he gets a bomb planter. That's cool. It's not an exciting frag just because there's still numbers, so many numbers, for them to actually burn through before this round is even close to being theirs. Bomb will get planted by another member of the Rugratz squad. And probably just going to have to be another save. The saving Incognito. Frost AK, man, you know, he's just gotta buffer his stats, right? I think, what, he's been saving 3 rounds in a row now? Jeez. Ooh, axed. Wait, he might get killed here. Oh, I was about to switch over and hope that he went for the knife. Unlucky. Okay. Oh. Not too shabby. Six more rounds before the comeback is officially complete, and we can go ahead and start talking about overtime. This Mountain Dew League game, it has definitely delivered. Not in all the ways that I would normally expect the game to deliver. There have been some definite hiccups from both teams, but for the most part, Incognito have managed to stay on top of things regardless. Aggro Molotov in. Keep an eye on Micro here. This is going to be a really strong position. Oh no. Oh, this is exactly why I wanted to keep an eye. Incognito, that might have been the final nail in the coffin that they needed. In fact is, if Micro just tried spraying a little bit more, Fang would have been the next victim. He could have gotten a highlight reel play right there. The thing is, he doesn't have to. That's his job. Incognito have been incredibly strong. They, honestly, like, this new roster is looking kind of solid on their fundamentals. I don't know. I'm liking it so far. Not the end of the world. Rugratz, while it seems very, very likely that they drop this round, there is a chance for a comeback, and it all begins... Never mind, it's over. It's over, actually. I was joking about that. He's got pranked, everybody. Actually, he's no attempt at a comeback. 16-9 will be the scoreline, and it will be crazy, honestly. Incognito with one of the biggest surprises, I think, not so far this season, but definitely kind of up there, considering the upwards trend that this Rugratz roster has been seeing. This kind of feels a little bit strange to actually kind of come across. Wow, this lighting does not do me justice, I'll be honest. I need to change up my lighting. We'll get to that later. But Incognito, a surprise win over the new Rugratz roster, will go ahead and improve their scoreline just a little bit in this MDL season. Both kind of upper middle of the level teams in this season as well. So big respect to them. Vertigo, it's not a map that I get to cast a lot, so apologies if I wasn't exactly perfect on my casting. Still getting used to it. but there's still a little bit more Counter-Strike action coming soon. In about 20 minutes, we're going to have our second game of the day, which is going to be Rebirth versus Mythic. You don't want to miss that one because it's going to be a banger as well. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and toss it to a quick break, and I'll see you soon.